So now we'll begin with knowing about the motion along a straight line. Motion along a straight line is the simplest kind of motion. It is basically when an object or a person moves in a linear fashion or linear way, then we call it a motion along a straight line. It is also known as motion, basically linear motion. It's also called as linear motion. Let's begin with an example to understand this in a detailed manner. Let's say we have an object which is put at this point O. It is kept at this point O, which is also our reference point, or we can say the origin. As we all know, reference point or origin is the point which describes the location of an object. So let's consider that our object O starts from point 0 on this line and moves along in a straight fashion in the direction as I'm showing you in the diagram. It passes the point C and it also passes the point B and finally reaches the point A. Then further it restarts from point A and then crossing the point B, it reaches the point C and then it halts there, it stops there. So if we see in going from O to A and then moving back from A to C, the total length covered by our object, the total path length covered by our object would be OA plus AC. OA plus AC, which is basically OA is 60 kilometers plus AC is our 35 kilometers. So the total length covered would be 95 kilometers. Okay, so what we did here was calculate the entire length that was covered by our object. So this entire length which was covered by our object is also called as the distance. So here we have defining our distance, that it is the total path length covered by our object. As you can see, we did not need to determine or put any direction onto this when we were determining the entire path length. So we can say it has, the distance has only a numerical value and no direction. Therefore we can also say that it has only magnitude. The quantity which has only magnitude and no direction is called as a scalar quantity. Scalar quantity is the quantity which has only magnitude. It does not have any direction. Okay, so there is only just a numerical value in case of a scalar quantity. We can measure it through some scale. In this case, we have taken our path length, the kilometers, which was the scale. So when we use only numerical values as a quantity or as a measure to determine something, it is known as a scalar quantity. In this case, distance is an example of a scalar quantity which has only magnitude and does not have any direction of motion. Okay, so in our earlier classes, we have also studied the formula of the distance. So we'll just do a quick recap of that formula. We have studied that distance is equal to speed into time. Speed multiplied by time is distance. So basically the speed of an object when it is moving, when it is multiplied by the time taken for that object to cover a certain distance, when we multiply these two quantities, that is the speed as well as the time, we get the distance of that particular object. So from here we can also derive the unit of distance. Let's say the speed of an object is a meter per second, and it takes 1 second to reach a particular place. So we determine the amount of distance is a meters, because a second and second gets cancelled, only meters is remaining. So a meter is the amount of distance that the object has covered. So basically the unit of distance as we study are meters, kilometers, centimeters. These are basically interconvertible units. You have studied these in your previous classes. Okay, from here, from the same formula, we can also derive the formula of speed. Take our time under the distance. So we know that speed is equal to distance upon time. So we use this formula to calculate various numerical values, or we solve various numericals in physics using this formula when we have to calculate either one of these. Two of the values are given, either speed or time will be given, and you'd have to calculate distance, or maybe distance and time would be given and you'd have to calculate speed. So the unit of speed is usually kilometer per hour or meters per second. Even these two are interconvertible. There are formulas for interconverting these two, from kilometer per hour to meter per second, and from meter per second to kilometers per hour. So as going back to our same example, we saw what distance was. Now let's consider the shortest distance of our object from point of origin when it reached the final. We remember that our object moved from point O to point A, and then back from point A to point C. Now our object is at this point, at point C. So the shortest distance of our object from the point O would be from the origin to the point C, that is OC. OC is the shortest distance. So when we see what's the value of shortest distance here, it is 25 kilometers. So OC is 25 kilometers, which basically is the shortest distance of our object from point O. So this shortest distance from origin is known as displacement. Displacement of an object is the shortest distance measured from an initial point, in this case which was the point O, to the final point, in this case which was the point C, right? So displacement is basically the final point minus the initial value. Okay, that is the formula of our displacement. Final distance minus the initial distance gives us the displacement, which is the shortest distance or traveled by that particular object. So in this case, what displacement is, displacement has a magnitude, as we saw that when we get minus these the distance of final distance from the initial distance from the final, we do get some numerical value. But in case of displacement, there is a numerical value, that is, there is a magnitude as well as direction is also necessary. There is also a direction. So those quantities, those particular kind of quantities which have a particular magnitude as well as a direction, these quantities are known as vector quantities. Vector quantity are basically those which possess a magnitude as well as a direction. So in our case, displacement is a vector quantity while distance is a scalar quantity. So Considering displacement is the shortest distance of a particular object, we can also see at times that, let's say, an object has started its journey from this point of origin O. It went up to a point A, and then again it came back to the point O. And let's say this distance covered from point A to O was, let's say it was 100 kilometers. Our object traveled from first it went from point O to A, and then further it went to from point A to O. In this case, if we say what was the distance covered, in distance covered from point A to A, it was O to A was 100 kilometers, and similarly in case of when it traveled from A to O, it was again 100 kilometers. So the distance traveled was 100 plus 100, which gives you a 200 kilometer distance. But what about displacement? In case of displacement, as we know that we subtract the initial value from the final value, so our initial value was what? It was 0 kilometers. So our final values, initial was 0, here was the initial value, and this is the final value, the final point of our object. Initial, so final is 0 minus 0, which gives us a displacement of 0 kilometer. So displacement can also be 0 at times when the final and initial position of an object coincide. That means whatever the initial position of an object was, that exactly is the final position of that particular object. At this circumstance, at this condition, the displacement of a particular object is 0.